Hello and welcome back to another episode of A Book a Day. And this week, as you would know, we are diving into ancient Indian poetry, which was originally written in Sanskrit, but never mind. All the things that I'm going to discuss here is going to be in English. And we are exploring Kalidasa's Sanskrit poetry. It's a collection of poems on the changing seasons of India, and the collection is called Ritusamhara, the Garland of Seasons. So, last time we talked about summer and how wonderfully Kalidasa described the season of summer in India. And now we move on to the monsoon, the rains, and how he describes the rains in India. Mind you, for hundreds and thousands of years, this season, the rains, the monsoon, they have played a big role in the Indian subcontinent because the rains really affect the vegetation, it affects the lives of the farmers, and it has been the case for a long, long time. So slowly it has emerged to be a part of the culture as well. And you would see the mention of monsoon in the literature, in movies, all the time you'll see that. So these rains and the season has been romanticized in the Indian context. And it's not a new phenomenon, it has been going on for many centuries, as we would find in Kalidasa's poetry. So let me narrate the poem that he's written on rains. In fact, these are lyrical verses. This is the much less of a poem, but more of a lyrical commentary on the season of rains and what it means to the people of India. And as I discussed last time, he really gets into the details of nature and vividly he describes the imagery of what is going on around, and then he also romanticizes it with the beauty and love. So all of these elements will once again be coming together, and then you'll be able to see the picture in your mind what Kalidasa is trying to paint here. So without any delay, let me read a few lines, the opening lines from this chapter on the rains by Kalidasa. It goes, green, like fragments of jade, the grass rises on tiptoe, stretching its blades to catch the raindrops, and a mass of the blithe new foliage busts from the kandali plants, and Indragopaka insects make a crimson riot. With patches of green and purple and gold, the good earth is decked with many colored jewels, like a woman of elegant taste and a charm of mellowed ease. So, we get to the imagery right away. He describes the colors, he compares them with jewels and other ornaments, and that's how this fresh earth is growing as the raindrops are falling. But we'll see in the subsequent lines, it's not just a pleasant and quiet and harmless kind of experience, it's also very loud and scary. And let me read the next few lines and you'll get an idea of it. Thrilled with the pleasing sound of the somber cloud that heralds storm, groups of gay amorous peacocks rend the air with their jubilant cries to hail the friendly rain, and spreading wide their jeweled trains. With the love play of the kiss and embrace, they hold their gorgeous dance parade. So now a little bit of nature, a little bit of wildlife has been described here. And of course, the atmospheric conditions, the storm is coming, the clouds are thundering, and the rain is coming. It just gets more intense from here on. Let me read it for you. Tearing down the trees on the banks with swirling torrents of turbid waters, rivers go surging to join the sea. So too wanton women bespatter the men of their clan with mire by the vehemence of their wild desire and hasten to meet their wooer. So earlier we saw the wildlife, the nature. Now we come to the lovers, how women are reacting, how they are desperate to meet their lovers. All of this emotion is being played out here along with the season. Then he goes on. The slopes of Mount Vindhya, where the young green grass is springing, and the gentle does browse to cull a mouthful, and the woods where the trees in bloom are clad in all the glory of their bursting leafage, elate and charm the soul of a man. So once again, describing emotions and talking about how grass is growing in the Mount Vindhya. Vindhya is a range in just about the center of India, and that is where this the geography has been described here. And it goes on. There, the meadows and sylvan glades that abound in the herds of timorous deer, whose tremendous liquid eyes share the loveliness of the newborn Utpala, rouse memories of soft adorings that come crowding to the lonely wanderer. Once again, really nice comparisons here. Let me read it further. Even in the blinding darkness of somber, beclouded nights, despite the pouring rain and thunder, romantic women seeking adventure hide to their trysting place while flashes of indulgent lightning guiding them on their dark way. So clearly, the ancient times, this darkness all around, rain is falling, the clouds are thundering, and then lovers are traveling. And in that darkness, when lightning is flashing, you can see certain images of lovers walking. It continues. Often the sheeted lightning, followed by a deafening crash of thunder, and its lingering, terrifying sound, scare the young wife into longing. She nestles close and, embracing her lover, forgives the error of his ways. So, more romance here. First of all, really nice description of lightning, this sheeted lightning, and it is followed by deafening crash of thunder, and the sound and the feeling of that scary thunder, it remains, it lingers on. That is what happens really. And this young wife's longing for the lovers and how she's feeling, all those emotions that are captured, and they're captured further in these lines as they go. The young wives of voyagers in despaired and fevered unrest wait and fidget for the golden hour of the loved one's return. They discard the chaplets of flowers, their trinkets and knickknacks of beauty, like pearly dew on tender foliage. The teardrops fall from their lotus eyes and moisten the twitching lower lip, red ripe like the bimba fruit. So now it gets more intense, the desire, the longing, the wait, it goes on. Lovers, these new wives, they're waiting for the lovers. And the wait continues. And then suddenly he shifts his focus, and talks about the wildlife out there, how life is changing for them, how the muddy waters where frogs are there, how the bees are humming, how the lotus plants they are blooming and hiding, how the elephants are now running around, how there is chaos in the wilderness. All these things he mentions. And he describes the atmosphere, and this is something that you can relate even today when you see the mountains. He says, the granite peaks of the mountain are kissed by cloudlets floating like the silver lotus, and all its gullies and springs and rills are flowing and bubbling with water. The mind is enthralled by the sight of the hills, alive with the bustling peacocks. And once again, as I said, this is something that you will see even today, how the clouds, they come down in the monsoon. They touch the hills, the sounds of the peacocks, how the the water bodies, they come alive. And the streams, they start flowing everywhere. All of that is going on. But again, he comes back to the same point, the ache of the heart, the tinge of sorrow. There is in the lover's heart that pain, that longing. So he keeps going back and forth with this idea that look at the atmosphere, then the emotional part. There are clouds gurgling, there is light flashing, and then there is lover waiting. So these two contrasting things, they are going on. A lot is going on in the wilderness. How animals are going into madness, and how people, they are experiencing the rain. So there's this constant interplay of nature and human society. But it's not just all gloomy, it's also a season of celebrations. And he does mention this fact that suddenly the new life emerges. He says the woodland where the fire is quenched by the newly sprinkled showers is gaily decked with kadamba tassels in joyous celebration. It is dancing merrily, its waving boughs of trees are tossed by playful winds. It seems to the smiling sweetly through the sharp white blades of the ketaki leaves. And so that element of joy is also coming. And that gets translated once again into the human emotions. And the lovers also kind of feel certain joy in that. He says, this season with its cluster of clouds, I ween, is like a dexterous lover, for it deftly weaves round the heads of maidens chaplets of bakula flowers, interlaced with malati blossoms. It designs fresh trinkets for their ears, with wreaths of new blooms and opening buds of the Utica creeper and full-blown kadamba flowers. And it goes on, thrilled with the fresh earth-scented air and the drip and drizzle of falling drops. Youthful women express their joy of life with strings of pearls on their dainty breasts, the soft white linen on their perfect hips, and the glamour of the undulate waistline. So once again, coming back to the romanticism, the beauty, the joy. And it's not really out and out joy, out and out celebration. We mentioned earlier that there was a bit of gloominess, there was a bit of sorrow. But then the celebration comes as the new life emerges in the rains. And it just feels good. And towards the end of the rainy season, it just gets better. And that's how it is, if you think about it. That's how this weather pattern, this change in atmosphere, it affects human emotions. And that is really wonderfully captured here in these verses. And that's all about Rains by Kalidasa in this segment. In the next time, in the next episode, We'll talk about what happens in autumn, and I hope you'll enjoy that part too. Let me know how you liked this episode, and I'll I'll definitely read your feedback and respond to it. Thank you very much for listening. I'll catch you the next time.